door. Senate pushes for national census, plans meeting with President Tinubu. Federal government convicts over 100 terrorist financiers in 2 years. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump attends interfaith service as Marco Rubio is sworn in as Secretary of State. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Nyesom Wike, on Tuesday held a closed-door meeting with a delegation of Ogoni leaders led by Governor Sim Fubara of Rivers State. Also present at the meeting was the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Military, amongst other ministers and aides. The meeting came after a coalition of civil society organizations demanded an allocation of $1 trillion from the federal government for the cleanup of the Niger Delta and compensation for lost livelihoods for the resumption of crude oil production in Ogoniland. The meeting came amid the protracted feud between Fubara and Wike, who were once political allies. Wike was the immediate past governor of the oil-rich South State. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has said that the fire incident at its Buguma Wellhead 008 operated by subsidiary NNPC 18 Operating Limited was caused by the activities of power plant vandals attempting to compromise the Christmas tree and steal crude oil. A statement by the firm's spokesperson Olufemi Soneye on Tuesday described the incident as an unfortunate act of sabotage. Mr. Soneye said the sabotage had resulted in severe damage to the well's back pressure valve, reflecting a disturbing pattern of repeated attacks on wellheads in the zone. The oil compound added that it remains committed to combating the fires and mitigating the financial losses associated with the criminal activities, which place a significant burden on the nation's economy. He added that the company is working closely with relevant security agencies to put an end to these acts of vandalism. In the meantime, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has distributed food, non-food items, and medical supplies to injured victims and affected families of the tragic petrol tanker fire disaster at Diko Junction in Niger State. The agency disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday. The tanker explosion occurred on Saturday morning along Diko Maja Road, opposite Badegi Station. The incident claimed 98 lives, left 69 people with varying degrees of injuries and destroyed 20 shops. NEMA's Director General Zubeida Umar, who visited the community and flagged off the distribution of relief materials, stated that the intervention was in line with President Bola Tinubu's directive and the federal government's commitment to assisting the community in recovering from the disaster. In another development, the Senate has vowed to push for the conduct of a national population census before the current administration ends in 2027. This commitment was reiterated during a budget defense session with the chairman of the National Population Commission, Nasiru Isa Kwara. The chairman of the Committee on National Identity Management and Population, Senator Abdul Nengi, said the Assembly will not rest on its oars until a census is conducted before the administration ends. He revealed that the Senate was preparing to meet with President Bola Tinubu to stress the urgency of conducting the census in 2025. Also, Senator Olalere Oyewumi underscored the importance of pressuring the president to prioritize the census. Similarly, Senator Dicket Plank lamented the country's reliance on estimated population figures, which hampers effective planning. The Population Commission boss explained that the census budget is yet to be finalized as they plan to integrate a biometric component into the process. Meanwhile, senators and members of the House of Representatives have called for increased funding for the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, emphasizing the sector's significant potential to drive economic growth. The lawmakers made this call on Tuesday during the budget defense session for the ministry. The ministry was allocated 11 billion naira for its 2025 operations. Speaking while presenting the estimate, the minister, Gboyega Oyetola, said the quantum of investment through capital budget was necessary for the ministry to deliver on its lofty mandate and potential. Lawmakers, however, argued that the budget falls short of what was needed to fully exploit the sector's potential and meet its responsibilities. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Marine and Blue Economy, Senator Wasiu Eshelokun, underpinned the importance of adequate funding and early budget preparations for 2026. The lawmakers also highlighted key projects, including the dredging of the rivers Niger and Benue and the development of coastal infrastructure as essential for positioning the country as a maritime business hub in Africa. And here in Osun State, the state government has given an ultimatum of February 2025 to complete the recruitment of teachers in the state. This comes as a number of criticisms have rocked the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke over the delay in the recruitment process. Toby Sanusi completes the story.
It is almost a year that the Osun State government announced teachers' recruitment exercise for public schools in the state, with over 30,000 applicants jostling for the 5,250 positions at the time. As a result of the tardiness in the recruitment process, the state government has continued to face backlash from civil society organizations, the opposition All Progressives Congress, APC, among others. This is also because the state government, through the Commissioner for Education, Dikbo Iluwole, had earlier vowed that the teachers would resume last year September, a promise it fell short of. But the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolapo Alimi, who had earlier alluded the delay to the negotiations on minimum wage, says the process will now be concluded latest by February 2025.
I can tell you, let's be looking at the latest time by February. Everything will have. You know, we are not, January, today is 21. So the latest by February, everybody will have. Those that have passed, you know, this is a process. You will have seen our teachers recruited, gotten their letters and be in schools.
Part of the arguments that rocked criticisms faced by the Osun State government was that Oyo State government, which commenced teachers' recruitment process after Osun State has employed 5,600 teachers for first batch of the process. Meanwhile, Mr. Alimi maintains that the payment of backlog of half salaries owed by previous administration is taking financial toll on the state government, necessitating proper due process for the recruitment. The commissioner, however, stopped short of affirming the number of teachers that will eventually be employed considering the financial capacity of the state following new minimum wage implementation.
Other states don't have backlog of arrears of salary like our salary that we have. Each month costs billions, if you don't know. So every government is like a family with its own peculiarity. In your state, they do not have half salary. So you might did not inherit any half salary. And when you see the IGR of your state is better than our own, it's not because we are less, it's because of the cosmopolitan nature of Ibadan. So I will not say categorically that it cannot be reduced. I won't say that one. But what I know is that we are going to recruit teachers very, very soon. And when we come out with the number, you will know the number.
Meanwhile, there have also been concerns on the distribution of the 5,000 teachers, but Mr. Alimi noted that the recruited teachers will be deployed to their residential local government areas.
If you are recruited, you are going to be placed in your own local government. They are not taking you out of that place. Your local government of origin which you failed.
Questions on the teachers' recruitment had also evolved during the last budget defense exercise at the Osun State House of Assembly, where the Commissioner for Education revealed that the recruitment is included in the State Universal Basic Education Board SUBEB's budget.
So this budget of this next year accommodates the recruitment?
Honorable from the South was asking that, is there any provision for the newly teachers in the, by the grace of God, that one will be included in the what we call it, superb and Telecoms budget.
The paucity of teachers in public schools had long been in existence since the administration of former Governor Bisi Akande, but efforts by subsequent administration seem not to be enough to revive the education sector. While speaking on the delay in the recruitment process, an educationist, Lai Lawuyi, who described the Commissioner for Education as incompetent, calls for complete overhauling of the Education Ministry, stressing that competent personnel like experienced retired principals should lead the ministry.
Commissioner for Education said last year, September, that in the next few weeks we are recruiting teachers. September, October, November, December, January. January is gone. This is their third year. So what are we going to live on? We shy. I've insisted, and I'm still saying it. He should change the Commissioner for Education. He should change his special advisors on education. Put round pegs in round holes. Find suitable retired principals.
Mr. Lawuyi also faulted the Education Summit organized by the state government in 2023, saying the impact has not been felt.
He has his passion for education, and that's why his very first summit on getting to the aim of affairs in Osho State was to organize an education summit. If it didn't mean well for education, definitely it won't be education summit first. But this is the third year. I have not yet seen the effect of that summit in any area of education in the state, whether in schools or in policies.
All eyes will now be on the Osun State government as it has promised that the teachers' recruitment exercise that it commenced last year, February, will be concluded by February this year. This is the second time that the state government is making such promises after falling short of it last year. But it is expected that this time around, the state government sticks to its words. Toby Sanusi, Western Spring Television News.
The security matters. The federal government has prosecuted and convicted over 100 terrorist financiers in the last 2 years. President Bola Tinubu made his disclosure while speaking at the opening of the 2025 National Anti-Money Laundering, Counter-Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Summit in Abuja today. The president, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akumed, attributed his success to the efforts of the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Attorney General of the Federation. He noted the government strategy of targeting the financial backbone of terrorist organizations like Boko Haram and ISWAP is denying them the ability to terrorize Nigerian communities. President Tinubu also noted that the administration has also invested heavily in upgrading the capacity of the law enforcement agencies like the police, EFCC, ICPC, and the NDLEA. In Yobe State, the State Police Command says it has arrested a suspected bandit kingpin in Ngalda, Fika local government area of the state following a robbery attack allegedly masterminded by the kingpin on Ngalda Market on Monday, which resulted in 7 deaths and 11 injuries. The command spokesman, SP Dungos Abdul Karim, who disclosed this today in Damaturu, said locally made pistol and 3 cartridges were recovered during the arrest. SP Abdul Karim said the culprits made off with 16.5 million naira. He explained that irate youths in the area mobilized and neutralized 3 of the attackers, while 3 others fled with injuries. The command spokesman added that victims and corpses have been evacuated to the General Hospital Fika for medical treatment and autopsy, respectively. In the court, the absence of the 11th Defense Counsel, John Bayeshare, SAN, today stalled the hearing of a suit seeking to halt statutory allocations to the 44 local government areas of Kano State. It will be recalled that the plaintiffs, Abdullahi Abbas, Aminu Aliu Tiga, and the All Progressives Congress, through their counsel, Sunday Oluwomoro, filed a motion ex parte dated October 28 and November 1, 2024. The defendants are the Central Bank of Nigeria, Federal Account Allocation Committee, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Accountant General of the Federation, Minister of Finance, Auditor General of the Federation, and Attorney General of the Federation. Others are the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Kano State Government, Attorney General Kano, Kano State Independent Electoral Commission, and the 44 Kano local government. The plaintiffs are asking the court to restrain the federal government, the CBN, and the Accountant General of the Federation from releasing statutory funds to Kano's 44 local government. Moving on, Kaduna State Governor Ubasani has said President Bola Tinubu is determined to reset Nigeria and put it irreversibly on the path to sustainable growth and development. The governor acknowledged that the implementation of the president's bold policies have not been without challenges and pains for Nigerians, but clarified that the pains are temporary. He made his known at a one-day lecture organized by Arewa think tank in his welcome address on Tuesday, saying with just a little more patience and perseverance, Nigerians will soon start reaping the fruits of the reforms. He stated that the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu's visionary and transformative policy thrust aimed at repositioning Nigeria as a global investment hub is being vigorously pursued with courage and patriotic zeal. Telecoms Subscribers Association has rejected the hike in tariffs which they describe as unacceptable. The Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) had on Monday approved a 50% tariff increase for telecom operators in the country following calls by the Association of Licensed Telecommunications Operators of Nigeria and the Association of Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria for an upward review of tariff. But the National Association of Telecom Subscribers (NATCOMS) has thwarted the move and threatened to sue. NATCOMS President Deolu Ogunbanjo, speaking in a news chart this afternoon, said it was too much for subscribers to bear, adding that they are already grappling with a lot of things that are surrounding the business climate.
Already said, yes, the telecoms industry is currently in intensive care. That being said, the telcos now followed up with that, saying that they may start load shedding. That is, one area will have signal today and the other area may not have, vice versa. And we don't want that. So that's why we did say earlier that, look, a 5 to 10% increase will be fine, judging from all their complaints. They even talked about their radio equipment, being supplied in dollars, which we also understand. That is why we are looking at, a 5 to 10% increase. 50% NCC's grant is a no-no. And we would want to call on them to please bring it to our demanded 5 to 10%. It's not it at all. Whatever reason, they've been making profits all these years. Yes, the last increase was in 2013. That's about 12 years ago. Yes, they've made so much profit. Let them plow it back. Or, okay, a 5% increase. Beyond that, a lot of telcos are owing each other. Telecoms A may be owing Telecoms B. They're not paying, within themselves. Again, the banks are not helping matters either. The banks are also owing them so much that they're stifling, the telecoms sector, thereby, bringing a lot of.
And elsewhere, the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development has confirmed an outbreak of anthrax on a farm in Zamfara State and called for heightened vigilance and immediate measures to contain the disease. This was disclosed in a statement by the Director of Information and Public Relations, Ben Gung. Anthrax, caused by bacterium Bacillus anthracis, is a zoonotic disease that can affect various warm-blooded animals such as cattle, sheep, goats, horses, and wildlife, as well as humans. The ministry outlined symptoms of anthrax, including fever, coughing, vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, sore throat, swollen lymph nodes, headaches, itching, and bleeding from major openings. The ministry urged neighboring states to take precautionary measures to prevent the further spread of the disease. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television, and still to come. Governor Pueblo assigns portfolios to 6 newly inaugurated commissioners. We'll bring you more on these when we return. Please stay with us.
Born 16th September 1923, named Harry Lee Kuan and known as Lee Kuan Yew, he was often addressed by his initials of LKY. Lee Kuan Yew was a barrister and the first Prime Minister of Singapore between 1959 and 1990. Educated at Raffles Institution from 1936 to 1940 and the Fitzwilliam House between 1947 and 1949. Lee Kuan Yew established a highly effective and anti-corrupt governance system that midwives the transformation of Singapore into a high net worth income economy within a generation. He never hid his exception to Western mode democratic ideal, which he believed had not assisted developing nations to attain good government. Before his death on 23 March 2015, the People's Action Party, which he founded, had used his political influence to establish the United World College of Southeast Asia to expand his economic ideas among countries that constitute the Asian Tiger. Western Spring Television identifies Lee Kuan Yew as a major character in history.
Up to 75% of all new human diseases come from animals. Ebola, anthrax, and monkeypox all came from animals. And as more dead wild animals are being transported to our cities, we risk introducing another disease outbreak. This will affect our health, economy, and well-being. So say no to illegal bushmeat, because protecting nature protects us all.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker, and philosopher, Awo was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration paraded several enviable records. First television station in Africa, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, first modern civil service secretariat in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 Naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history.
You're welcome back. This is still News at 7 on Western Spring Television. A reminder of our headlines. President Tinubu, Wike, Fubara, Ogoni leaders meet behind closed door. Senate pushes for national census, plans a meeting with President Tinubu. The federal government convicts over 100 terrorist financiers in 2 years. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump attends interfaith service as Marco Rubio is sworn in as Secretary of State. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has assigned portfolios to the 6 commissioners inaugurated on Monday. In his press statement on Tuesday, the Secretary to the State Government, Umar Kilo, announced the commissioners' designations. According to the SSG, Paul Ohombamu will enter the Ministry of Information and Communications, while Dr. Washington Osifo has been assigned to the Ministry of Water Resources and Energy. Mr. Emmanuel Iyamu, the Ministry of Education. Additionally, Dr. Loki Sebe will lead the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Andrew Ijabai will take charge of the Ministry of Mining, and Olabisi Idaomi will oversee the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Ikilo added that all the commissioners are expected